yeah, this information has been out there. What took so long? It's a type of victory, you know. It's bittersweet still. Stay tuned. I miss my brother.
Who brought up the amount of $1 million?
He did.
Puffy did?
Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't you?
No, it wasn't me. I'm shit. $1 million. I think take for 50. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
So he brought up them $1 million.
Yeah.
God told me to ask y'all for help. I need your help. I need your help. I can't do it alone. I'm overwhelmed. I'm going crazy. God, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you. Please, I'm fighting this fight. And to other people, it's an impossible dream. It's not impossible. It's going to happen.
Keefee D has gone on record to express that he felt that Diddy was somewhat a part of it.
This individual mentioned dude's name, okay? Law enforcement has a job to do. Will they do it? So we'll see.
If you've been following up with the news, you'd know that Keefee D has been arrested in relation to Tupac's murder. And while the arrest of Keefee D has been garnering lots of attention, one more thing that is causing chaos is Diddy's alleged involvement in the assassination. Just recently, Keefee D released a confession about Diddy's involvement in the murder, and that he allegedly paid him $1 million. Now, after this revelation came out, Tupac Shakur's brother, Mopreme, is getting involved. He responded with a mix of emotions to the recent development that suspect Keefee D has finally been apprehended and charged. But now it seems like he's going after Diddy himself, given the new connection to the notorious murder of Tupac Shakur. In a pair of interviews conducted on the fateful Friday, immediately following the capture of Dwayne "Keefee D" Davis, Mopreme candidly conveyed the ambivalence he felt about the arrest, describing it as a bittersweet revelation for a multitude of profound reasons. The enormity of the time span, spanning 27 long years, seemed to weigh heavily on his soul. He expressed a deep sense of regret, lamenting, "This tragic chapter in history didn't need to unfold, and my heart aches at the realization that my brother is absent from our lives." Elaborating further, Tupac's elder brother articulated, "Justice, in its essence, represents accountability, and that is the facet of this situation that brings a sense of solace in the midst of the bitter turmoil. However, I brace myself for what lies ahead, because the pursuit of true justice is far from over." Mopreme disclosed that the Shakur family received a recent communication from the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, indicating that their investigation into Tupac's murder was still ongoing. However, the family remained unaware of the imminent arrest. The timing of this contact was indeed intriguing, and it left me somewhat surprised, for this development should have transpired much earlier, Mopreme conveyed to the New York Post. He added, "Davis has consistently maintained that he was present in the vehicle when his nephew, Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, perpetrated the fatal shooting of my brother." In a recent interview, he also talked about how Puff reached out to him to clear his stance. The boy Puffy reached out to him back in the day, and he was like, "I just want you to know, I ain't have anything to do with your brother's situation. I recognize you though we've never met, and I just want to call you, man. Let you know that I have nothing to do with your brother's passing." Fans thought that was a weird thing to do, and super shady too. One person tweeted, "So Puffy called Mopreme Shakur to tell him he ain't behind Tupac's IDK if the NGA took a check to say that on camera or what, but that's a wild, goofy to say regardless. So why did he contact Pac's brother, you might wonder? Well, it was around the early 2000s when the LA Times published an article that implicated him. Mopreme said he remembered that moment vividly, considering the writer of that article had conducted a few interviews with Tupac back when he was alive. The whole situation was nothing short of mind-boggling. As for Puffy, he was trying to plead his innocence. Him and CES found themselves on the radio in Los Angeles, and Big Boy, a radio host, reached out to Mopreme. He said, "Puffy and company want to discuss the entire ordeal concerning your brother." Back then, Pac's brother was hungry for information, eager to understand the truth. He heard what Diddy had to say, but the circumstances surrounding the case were far too convoluted to make a snap judgment. This was the early 2000s. Mopreme was also asked if Little C shared anything with him during that period, and he replied that, to the best of his recollection, he didn't. But Puffy's outreach had the air of a man who might be feeling guilty. It's all rather perplexing. You see, there have been numerous connections between Puffy and the incidents involving Tupac. Over time, it's become increasingly difficult to ignore these connections. When Tupac was shot at Quad, or when he was tragically killed in Vegas, Puffy's name was frequently brought into the conversation. It's a situation that demands further scrutiny. Additionally, we've got individuals like Kading conducting interviews, which sometimes seem to lean in Puffy's favor due to the fear factor. Yeah, Puffy was scared, that's undeniable. And in that state of fear, one might be led to think that he could have taken measures, even financially, that contributed to Tupac's untimely end. It's all a rather strange puzzle, but we're going to have to let time unravel this mystery. Besides, Puffy had his own issues with Suge, even before Tupac entered the picture. So, yeah, Mopreme said he understood why he might have been fearful. But hey, as he said before, Tupac would have loved to settle it in the ring, box it out, and then use the proceeds for the betterment of the community. It didn't have to be this way. For those of you wondering, the Los Angeles Times website ran an article by Chuck Phillips, a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter, discussing an assault on Tupac Shakur in 1994, which ignited a feud between East and West Coast rappers. Phillips based his report on recently discovered FBI records, which were obtained by the Los Angeles Times. These documents implicated associates of Sean Diddy Combs in the attack. However, it has come to light that these documents are likely forgeries. The documents in question were referred to as 302s and purportedly contained information from an informant about a series of events involving Tupac Shakur, particularly the 1994 shooting he survived, only to tragically die in another shooting about a year and a half later. The focus of the article was on two individuals, one of whom was James Sabatino, who were portrayed as aspiring producers seeking to gain favor with Combs. According to Chuck Phillips, the idea was that Combs had advanced knowledge of the attack, intending it as a message to Shakur that he needed to cooperate with Combs. What was supposed to be a planned beating went awry when Shakur pulled his own firearm. However, investigations, particularly by the smoking gun, have raised doubts about the authenticity of these documents. Many inconsistencies were found, including numerous misspellings and inaccuracies in the way the FBI maintains its records, as per named sources and current and former officials. Additionally, the documents were typewritten, whereas the FBI hasn't used typewriters for around 3 decades. Sekiwa Set Shakur, Tupac's sister and the president of the Rappers Foundation, recently expressed her thoughts on social media, emphasizing the significance of the present moment. She wrote, "Undoubtedly, this marks a pivotal juncture. The prolonged silence surrounding this case over the past 27 years has resonated loudly within our community." She continued, "It is of paramount importance to me that the world, our nation, the justice system, and our people recognize the profound impact of the loss of this man, my brother, my mother's son, my father's son. His life and his death hold immense significance and must not remain unresolved or unnoticed. Thus, while today signifies a victory, I shall withhold judgment until all the facts and legal proceedings run their course." Mopreme aligned his sentiments with his sister's perspective, underlining that justice in this case is far from complete. Speaking to TMZ, he declared, "Keep your popcorn, we're still waiting for things to unfold, the universe is working, Pac is still here, so stay tuned." Mopreme Shakur expresses his belief that Tupac's murder would have been resolved much sooner had he been of a different race. He candidly states, "Pac was a young black male, and we have challenges in this country when it comes to equal justice. That's just the nature of the beast. It's just the nature of the beast in America. I'm realistic about that." In addition, Mopreme adds, "I was shocked, surprised, and taken aback because it's been so long. We haven't heard anything in 27 years. My daughter is 27 years old, so any accountability is good at this point." Mopreme firmly believes that others should be held criminally responsible for his brother's murder. He emphasizes, "It would be a shame after all this time for them not to do this properly," meaning that they look at all the connections to it and get the total justice that we want. There's doubt in their sincerity. How far are they going to go? are they going to go all the way and get all the accomplices? Apparently, he's also having a hard time coping with all of this. In an interview, he said he's staying resilient, rolling with the punches. The most demanding part is revisiting the trauma, the painful memories, recalling precisely what occurred, and having to dredge through the difficult past. He said he initially found out about it, like everyone else, when they raided Keefe's house in Vegas, and it was a surprise to me, just like it was to everyone else. He hadn't had any prior contact with Las Vegas law enforcement. Eventually, they reached out after he did an interview on CNN, as people were inquiring about it. That's when Las Vegas law enforcement began reaching out to me and the family, making it seem like they were updating us on the case, even though they hadn't done so for the past 27 years. So, this guy has been out there sharing his version of the story, and I assumed that Las Vegas was actively investigating and following up on it. But here we are.
Most difficult part is reliving the trauma, the memories, exactly what happened, and, dredging through the mud,
So, what do you think? Comment down below and let us know. If you liked this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be the first to see my next video. I post updates like this every week where I uncover the secrets of your favorite celebrities.